Hello, Mark Lowdy here. Singapore Investment Week is on, 25th to the 31st of August. It's a whole week of information and education for retail investors in Singapore who may never have invested before. It's an initiative of the Securities Investors Association of Singapore, and the Chief Executive, David Gerald, is here with me to talk a little bit more about it. Hi, Mr. Gerald. You already have so many things on your plate. What made you go into Singapore Investment Week on top of it all?
It's very disturbing to see the ordinary man, the small man, not growing his wealth. You find Singaporeans keeping the little bit of money they have in the banks, and that's about the best they do because they are frightened to invest. The money they keep in the bank is not growing because, in fact, it's being destroyed by inflation. Inflation at 5.3% and interest rate from 0.5 to 1. It will not do.
And even CPF, 2.5%, 3.5%.
Yes, and many investors, many Singaporeans think that CPF money is enough. It's not enough, and it's a well-established fact by the government that CPF money is not going to be enough in retirement. So you need to start investing. But they are not investing, most people in the heartlands. Why? Because they hear bad stories. All the time they read in the papers, companies are collapsing, there's scams, people are stealing money, people are running away with money, and they're losing, and counters get suspended. And they only hear about the stocks. There's so many other types of investments that are available to them, like the REITs and ETFs and a lot. So our journey into heartlands is to really hold their hand for some time, teaching them how to make an assessment of their own risk appetite, and how to save systematically, put aside some money, and start investing over a period of time. Investing with knowledge, knowing the features and risks of a product that is being offered to them. They walk into any bank, the distributor, what does he do? He will try to, push some products. You should ask questions.
In fact, you did recently, and this happened to you, where you went into a bank,
yes.
And the girl behind the teller wanted to sell you something. Can you just tell us
what
happened?
I went with my wife to put some money in the fixed deposit because my wife doesn't believe in investing. She's one of those hardlanders who doesn't believe.
Right.
So when we went in there, we were met by a fine young man who said, what are you going to do here? And we said, we're going to put some money in the fixed deposit. And he said, how much are you getting? Well, you're getting only 0.1
yes.
something.
You need to have $1 million locked away for 12 months to
yes.
make 1%.
Right. And he said, why would you want to do that? I'll give you 3%. Come along with me. So I went along with him and with my wife. My wife was excited, of course. And at the end of it all, we asked him one question. What happens if we take the money, capital, off before maturity? Then he said, you lose a little bit of money. How much money? 10%.
Ooh,
yeah,
really?
10%.
And how long was he expecting you to lock your money away for?
Oh, just 3 years.
Okay, well, that's still a substantial period of time.
Right. So then I gave him my card. He knew who I was, and he said, oops, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, I should explain to you more. So, of course, I pulled him aside and told him this is not what she should be doing, and especially in view of MAS guidelines on the sale process after Lehman Brothers. So heartlanders will have to then be educated and to have the knowledge and the confidence to face this sort of situation and to ask themselves whether is this the product I want? Does it suit my risk appetite? Is it suitable for me? And does it meet my objectives? When do I want to withdraw the money? For what purpose am I investing?
So it's not necessarily about, during Singapore Investment Week,
No.
giving them all the answers. It sounds like it's much more about teaching them what questions to ask.
Right. We have got 10 questions for complex products, and much of it will also apply for all sorts of investments. So they need to ask the basic questions. Why am I going to invest? For what reason? Is it just, and for what purpose? For how long? And what are the risks involved? What are the features of the product? If this is suitable for me. So all those questions are there, and they need to keep asking. And they will arrive at a product that is most suitable for their needs. And then they will plan their investment journey. All right? So investing without knowledge is a gamble. And many of them are doing that, and they're ending up gambling and losing the money.
The motto for Singapore Investment Week is investing in a secure future.
Yes.
The financial advisors, or some of them at least, and even letter writers to the forum pages of the Straits Times would argue that if you want to have a secure future, you don't know how, better to leave it to somebody who does.
Yes.
Is that not a fair argument?
Well, you go to a financial advisor, you still need to know what he's recommending to you is whether it's suitable or not. You need to understand what he's saying. I say it's very dangerous to leave it to others if we have no knowledge at all, because there are very good reasons why the financial advisor may be recommending a product to you, but end of it all, it may not be the one that you were looking for, that would suit your needs. So you still have to ask the questions, and if you don't have the questions, and if you don't have the knowledge, you can't have the questions. If you don't have the questions, you're not going to arrive at the best decision, informed decision that you should be making. So to make an informed decision, they need to be educated, and this is what we taught at SIAS together now with SGX. We're going to do this regularly so that people will get this idea of doing the right things, all right, for themselves. They should be comfortable with the decision they make, should be able to sleep well at the end of the day and say, I made the right decision. Mm-hmm. No matter what come may, I'm going to stick with my decision, because I know at the end of the period of time that I am looking at the horizon, time horizon, I will be the winner.
You, in fact, we're just seeing pictures now of that announcement with the Singapore Exchange. You signed a memorandum of understanding. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that actually involves in practice?
Right.
Is this a financial arrangement, or how does this work?
Well, basically, they have the resources, and we have the organization ability. We are used to organizing investment seminars, workshops, and therefore they will come along with a little bit of money we need and the lecturers that we need to take it to the heartland. And this is the partnership. Now, the stock market is just not about stocks. There is an area of investment products, all right, investment opportunities. So investors living in heartlands need to be taught what are the various instruments they could consider. Some may have 5,000, some may have 10,000, some may have 50,000. All right, so according to the financial circumstances and the risk appetite, SIAS and SGX will then pitch the investor education to suit their needs.
Can they be assured that it's not about product pushing?
Yes, SIAS's mission always has been education and not selling. We are not in the business of selling. We are not in the business of pushing products. And we are there to moderate the sessions to ensure that it's pure education, not product selling.
Longer term, Mr. Gerald, is your vision to have an investing community like, say, in Hong Kong, where a lot of people are active but of varying levels of sophistication? Or is it better to have a smaller investor base, but everybody's very smart about it?
Right, I think it's not about whether we want to be like Hong Kong, but it's about our community preparing itself wisely for its retirement. And to do so, they need to have investment knowledge. They're never going to grow their money if they're not going to invest. Now, yes, jurisdictions like Hong Kong, I suppose they're smarter in certain areas like, sophisticated products like, warrants and futures and options, because they have been doing that for years to come. But to take that to the heartlanders is quite dangerous. They need to first start with financial planning, then beyond that, they need to look at how they want to upgrade themselves on various products that would suit their needs and financial circumstances. But certainly we do want our capital markets to grow, and to bring more people into the market, you need to have knowledge. You need to educate. Without a community without investor education will not assist the capital markets to grow. We will not be a matured market. We will not reach that sophistication. So they have had plenty of exposure to education, perhaps discussions, informations in the Hong Kong market. It's been a tradition long before Singapore. We only started in, 2001, 2000. So it's fairly new, and people must get this, in the mindset of the people in Singapore should be, I want to learn before I invest. I must have the knowledge to know what to invest, where to invest, when to invest, how long to invest. All right? So they're going to become smart investors. More often than not, it's greed that is predominant. Emotional decisions made based on greed. and most of the time they're in a hurry to invest, and that's what spoils their investment journey.
And that's what Singapore Investment Week hopes to change.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in, Mr. Gerald.
Thank you.
David Gerald, the Chief Executive and President of the Securities Investors Association of Singapore. More details of Singapore Investment Week can be found at this website on your screen now. I'm Mark Lowdy. Thanks again for watching.